It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Score. Thanks as always for listening or watching. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we've got this little bond going with us between me and you guys. So it's been a pleasure. I got a question for you, the Bears fans. I really want you to think about this. Do you want to win with your quarterback having to go back to the 2022 game plan, which can we just call it Justin Fields running? I mean, I know there's more to it than that, but we're just going to call it that, Justin Fields running. Do you want to go back to that and probably guarantee yourself some more wins? Maybe you get to 8 wins because you go back to Justin Fields' style of running. That is, if the defense can get their acts together. Or do you take another hit this year in terms of wins to let Justin Fields play through the pain a little bit? Not the literal pain, the figurative pain of learning how to be a pocket passer at the NFL level. Because it's about time to put away the Ohio State stuff. And I'm as guilty as anybody of continuing to keep that bell going. In terms of, well, he did that at Ohio State. He wasn't a running quarterback at Ohio State. He was a pocket passer at Ohio State. This is who he was. He mastered it in college. He simply has not mastered it, the art of playing quarterback in general at the NFL level. So, in other words, Justin Fields needs more development in that area. And so is it like in baseball where you bring a guy up and just let him play? Oh, it doesn't have to be baseball, whatever. Rookie, like Kyler Gordon last year. Drafted Kyler Gordon. Just put him in, plug and play, let him play through it, because once he gets through that year, he will have mastered it, and he will take his punches along the way. And that's kind of what I'm thinking for. Honestly, like, I came up with this, or this question went through my head because I'm not ready to see the Bears go back to that style of football. And I only say that because it's just not sustainable. And I don't know that maybe sustainable for a year or two. But is it even a sustainable way to win in the postseason? And I don't know that it is. And I guess I'm at the point in, being a Bears fan, being a Bears reporter, covering the Chicago Bears every day of my life, including doing the sidelines with the Bears for 6 years. And I know this is the NFL, but the 1 year wonders, I'm not really in for that because I see how that ends. 2018 for the Bears. What a great year. That was my first year covering the Bears. I was on the friggin' sidelines for that whole season. It was my first year. And Khalil Mack, the whole thing. I mean, an elite defense and an offense that did just enough. It was incredible. But you saw how easily the Bears were dismissed from the postseason. If it hadn't happened in that horrible week 1, it probably would have happened in the second week of the postseason, because ultimately in this NFL, strong defense and running just doesn't cut it anymore. So I'm at the point where I would probably choose B, as in I want to see. It doesn't mean he's got to do it the whole season, but a couple more games of this game plan and maybe you add a few more plays other than screen passes and attempt to go downfield a little bit more. But I'm okay with the Bears. I was going to say forcing this on Justin Fields, but he's complicit, man. Justin Fields wants this too. Like, people feel bad for Justin Fields. Oh, come on, let this guy go. Let him be him. Let him do. No. Stop that. Justin Fields wants this too. He is with the game plan. Now, I don't know what it's like backstage. Does he is the message getting through? Are these the right coaches for him? I don't know. But I do know that unless Justin Fields was lying to us, and I don't think he was, as he said, he wants to break records with his arm and not just the like. That was great. That was fun. That was a blast. But everybody watching and Justin Fields and the bosses, they all know that we can do better than that. And I know that sounds crazy considering how explosive he was and how entertaining Justin Fields was. But I just think after 2 games, I am not ready to just be like, yeah, go back to that style that got 3 wins for the Bears last year. Because the defense is not here to bail you out. The running game is fine. The running backs are fine, but there's no Walter Payton back there. And I know I just gave the most extreme example possible, but it's not like Travis Henry. Okay. You're going to have somebody in the backfield that you can win because of. That's just a rarity, and it doesn't exist in many cases. So yeah, I am not ready to see that go away. Now, on to the idea of wanting to see Justin Fields be better in that regard, because it's been ugly. Justin Fields has not been good in the last couple of games. Chase Daniel, the ex-Chicago Bears quarterback, was on the score today. Apparently he's going to be a regular on the Parkins and Spiegel show to specifically talk about Justin Fields and break down the all 22 tape. So yeah, that Chase Daniel guy's been around. He's been working at NFL Network and doing media. Heard him say to the guys that if he wasn't doing that, he would definitely coach. So he's one of those guys who probably will be a coach someday, because eventually, even with all his millions, he'll probably want to get back on the field, get back on the turf. You know what I'm saying? But let's listen to Chase Daniel on what he's talking about. And it's a lot of the stuff that we've been hearing in terms of Justin Fields, and that's getting rid of that football. Here's Chase Daniel.
I just want you guys to notes. Like I took a lot of notes, okay, and because I wanted to understand what was going on with that Chicago offense. And for me, it like the whole story and the whole narrative is that Justin's taking a lot of sacks, and it's been a lot of these sacks where he's had 4+ seconds to hold on to the football. Everyone saw the viral tweet go out yesterday. It's like, hey, he's taking the most sacks since 2021 or whenever he came in the league, that he's had 4 more seconds to throw the ball. And to me, I wanted to sort of figure out, is it him holding the ball? Is it him not getting through progressions? Is it him trying to make something that isn't there? And what I found, at least in the Buccaneers game, was he took 6 of them. Okay. And he took 6 sacks in 55 plays. And to me, it's like, he doesn't know, he's not sure when the play is over. And sometimes what does that mean? Well, it means that, listen, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm Luke Getsy, and I'm trying to call a play, and I call a play that's supposed to be a cover 2 defense, and they show cover 3 in that play. Well, the play's probably not that good. Like, if I'm a quarterback, I'm going to try to make it work, and I'm going to throw the ball away. To me, it seems like he's just standing in the pocket. And it's not like it's the offensive line's fault. I mean, there's a few times that of those 6, maybe 2 I have down, that offensive line got beat early and he had nowhere to go. The other 4 were just like, hey, one's not open, sort of scramble around and try to make something happen, and he just gets sacked. And to me, it's like, just know when the play's over, and you got to learn how to be able to dirt the ball. You got like a throwaway, and I'm sure they're preaching this, guys. Like, look, I never want to go into any segment because I played the game, and quarterback is the most difficult position in all of sports to play. Like, it's not even close. And what I think he can continue to get better on is just progressing through reads. And that's something that we saw a lot against the Buccaneers, was number 1 in the progression might not be open, and that's okay. That happens. But I just want to see him build upon this week's performance going into next week's against Chiefs. Like, if 1 isn't open, get to 2 quickly and hit and complete it. And if 2 isn't there, there's like 3 or 4 things. I'm looking at my notes, like 3 or 4 plays where number 3 in the progression is pretty open and he's just not getting through the read. That's pretty much what I saw.
Chase Daniel right there, former Bears quarterback on the Parkins and Spiegel show on The Score. A couple things pop out to me, and it's one of the things that we've talked about with Justin Fields, and that is the lack of presence of mind, feeling the pressure, because I'm sure that it is difficult in general in the NFL to have the patience and the trust to stand back there in the pocket and not want to run out of there, or you stand like Tom Brady, again, the extreme example, just stand there and he would trust the hell out of his offensive line. He had to trust them because he wasn't going anywhere. So I imagine that that's difficult. But what we're talking about here is Justin Fields. We've seen it so many times over the last 3 years, him not feeling the pressure. You see it. You're not watching on TV. You're like, no, it's like a horror film, and somebody will swat the ball out of his hands, and sometimes they recover, and sometimes they don't. So I think that's a big thing, just feeling the position, and I just don't at this point, like as calm as this man is, and as laid back as this man is, I don't think that calm and laid back is what he looks like when he is in the pocket at this time. So what else jumped out at me from that? Progressing through the reads, that's a huge thing for, again, any quarterback. Can you get beyond staring down a receiver and get to those reads in a timely fashion? And Justin Fields has struggled to do that as well. So, yeah, I think that, the big question is it fixable? I don't know, but I'm not ready to give up yet. I am not ready to go back to rolling the dice, quite frankly, on going back to that offense. And maybe it would get them 10 wins because it's the friggin' NFL, but I would not bet on it. So, again, is it better to let Justin Fields play through the pain, the learning pains of becoming a pocket quarterback? I ask you that question. Thank you very much for listening. Like I told you, thanks for watching. We're on YouTube. You can get us anywhere where you get your podcast. Tell a friend about it and support. Join the Daily Score. I appreciate it. For our executive producer, Ray Diaz, I am Mark Grote, and I'll talk to you every day.